Wow, what an absolute hell of a game that just completed down there in Foxborough. Wow, what a game. And actually seeing a playoff game from beginning to end. I actually didn't fall asleep. Right here we got some classic Madden 15 gameplay for you guys. I told you guys I had like 20 games of my computer. I don't know how the hell this was on my computer. I really don't, but they're here. So maybe I've uploaded this one before. Maybe I didn't. Honestly, don't remember. But what I do remember was Madden being great back then. Why? We had face catching, we had nanos, we had all the cheesy stuff that you had to take time and learn. Either you learned it or you got abused by it. And I played Weekend League yesterday, right? Streamed it. For those of you who caught the stream, dilly dilly. For those of you who did not, feel free to go back and check it out, man. We played 12 games on stream. Played half of the Weekend League in just one sitting. We went 9-3. We went pretty good. One game I lost in overtime. One game I should have won that game, but unfortunately I did not. Another game I fumbled twice on kickoff returns. I just quit, gave them the victory. Just things were not going my way that game. And then the third one I lost to a D-line user. A D-line user who came in instantaneously every single time with jump to snap Aaron Donald. As soon as I hiked the ball, because I don't have secure pass protector on my center, he came in immediately. And that's what reminded me of this right here. I was like, you know what? Like, what happened back in the days of Madden when you played a D-line user, they got Goomba stomped. Like, if I played a D-line user in Madden 15, he had no chance whatsoever. Like, none. Like, it wasn't happening. Like, there was no insta sheds because he had jumped the snap. There was no insta sheds because my guys didn't have secure pass protector. There was none of that. If you came out on the D-line user, I was putting 55 on your noggin. I was putting 55 on your neck, boy, and there was nothing you could do about it. But back, in today's world, and if you guys play squads, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. When you play squads, back when we had the speed out, you remember the speed out? They got rid of it. Look at the agility I had back then, man. They got rid of the speed out. Why? Because I guess it was too tough for people to defend. You guys remember drive out? I was notorious for drive out. I put drive out on the map, Madden 15, when I was running Saints book. It was in Denver's book as well, out of Snugs. You get a little more. Look at Night Train Lane coming through. You get a little motion, and it was difficult to defend. It was. You needed a flat route, and back then there was no cloud flats, there was no hard flats. It was just flats. That's it, just one flat. You had a flat route there, and it would completely box it up. But they got rid of it. And they got rid of screens. They got rid of the ability to play hot route on screens. Now they have kick arcs. Now they have previous play. Now they have a whole bunch of stuff that I lost to a D-line user, man. And the thing is, all my OGs that play MUT back in the day, you all know, like, when you play a D-line, and not against guys who user the D-line, but, I mean, let's be honest, that you play the D-line, just specifically because, you don't know how to use another position, because using the middle of the field is very important in Madden. You want to lock up that middle of the field. You want to force them, because there's a lot of good routes in the game of Madden that are always just happen to be over the middle of the field. Post, in routes, drags, slants that, target the middle of the field, and you want to, take that away. And the D-line user, I was just coming out and my HB wheel, and I was just dotting him up with that post over the middle because that's the play he had to user it or put a linebacker on a deep blue to cover that, and he couldn't stop it. But I couldn't get the ball off just when speed mattered. When was the last time you really seen a streak happen like that when somebody just got outranked? It doesn't really happen now due to the fact, unless you baseline. You get hit with the baseline glitch and you guys 5 yards inside. This is really the only time it ever happens to me. But outside of that, like, a 92 overall, a 92 speed cornerback will keep up with a 96 speed cornerback on a streak, 45 yards downfield. You would figure there'll be some type of separation, right, with the +4 speed? I guess not. But anyways, I couldn't get the ball off 90% of the time against this D-line. I would hike it, and he would come in immediately. And then they never go off sides. When you fake snap, you know they're holding down on the right thumbstick or left thumbstick, whichever one they hold. I don't freaking know. I don't use it at D-line. And whenever I get stuck on the D-line, I make sure I back up in coverage to try and cover the middle. You know they're holding down on the left thumbstick, right thumbstick, whichever one. And what happens? They move slightly to the left or right. Why can't they go off sides? Like, you're really not going to punish them? Like, it's impossible for a D-line user to go off sides. That's ridiculous. Like, the game has just changed so much. There was no abilities backhand. If your guy had 97 tackle, he was going to wrap your goofy ass up. If his guy had high catching, he didn't need pick six chemistry. He was going to catch the pick majority of the time. If your guy had, there was no unfakeable, jukes were, you had to have stick skills back then. You could juke somebody out their shoes, but it wasn't animation based. You just had to get sticky with it and completely manipulate their directional movement. If I move really quickly left, right, that I would be able to do it. And they had double jukes. And double jukes, you needed vision in order for the double juke to be used correctly. You couldn't just double juke anywhere. Like in today's Madden, before they did the patch, you could legit spin. You could be running to the left sideline. You can spin towards the left. Like, you can spin the complete wrong way. Not even back outside to, cut back to the middle of the field. Oh, no. You could spin towards the sideline, towards the defense, and 4 guys would fall. Like, it didn't take any vision. In this Madden, the double juke was there, but you needed vision in order for it to be successful. And it only worked against one person, just one user you would get by. You couldn't double juke. Right there was a double juke. You couldn't double juke and make 5 guys fall, I just miss where, we as a community, we shouldn't lose the people on the D-line. We shouldn't. Right there, I made my own adjustment to go on ahead and put them on a curl on the screenplay. Because, again, you can make your own hot routes back then. Now you can't. Why? They got rid of it. I guess it was too difficult for the D-line users to defend. And oh, my God, man. If I played a D-line user back then, boy, I'm Goomba stomping. Like, no chance. But today, you know what's crazy? You see I had the drag route on the right side going into the blocking of the screen. The makeshift screens were so glitchy, man. But they got rid of it. Why? Because they want the average person to be able to pick up the game and compete. And, some people will be like, well, that's cheese, man. Like, I don't want to go against that. Listen, I understand. But this is a man's game, all right? This isn't a game where you can pick up and easily get good at. You have to put time and effort to get good at Madden. You have to understand, a whole lot of different plays. You got to understand what I'm running. I got to understand what you're running. I got to understand what you're trying to get to. As soon as I see your formation, I got to understand what type of routes are on there before I even know. I don't know what play you're calling, but I see the formation, but I already know where you want to go. So I'm making adjustments. I'm predetermining where I think you want to go. And if I'm right, you should be able to be punished for that because I made the proper adjustments to lock that down. It's just different in today's day of Madden, man. I really feel like the chemistries and abilities and all that is taking over instead of just good old, like Rex. Let these bums get their ass whooped, man. They need it. They need to put time and effort into this game to get good, man. It took me 10 Maddens to get good. I used to get mollywopped on every console every single year, and I finally just really got fed up, and I started nibbling on what people were doing to me. Like, okay, I see what they're doing. Okay, that's a good play. I really had trouble stopping that. Now I'm gonna figure out how to stop it, and I'm gonna figure out how to do that to my, my own offense. I'm gonna add that to my arsenal. There was 37 different blitzes you could run back then. So many different edge heat, A gaps, B gaps, and all of them were blockable. You just had to understand how to block them, but every single one was blockable. Today, what do we see? Tampa 335, crossfire. We see 3 different blitzes. Let's be honest. 3-4. There's 3-4 different blitzes we see here. When it was, where your guy wouldn't just completely, like that right there was just, that was the aggressive catch. Just, I just threw it up and prayed, and I came down with it, which should happen every now and then. I really feel like they completely nerfed that. Julio Jones, if I toss it up, in this game, I feel like might come down with it, or Calvin Johnson, I feel like might come down with it 10, 15% of the time. Where I feel like in real life, a DB against Julio one-on-one, a toss-up, he might come down with it 35% of the time. I feel like that has to increase it a little bit, but nothing like how it was with the aggressive cat. That was a little, but I feel like a little bit more. Anyways, man, we got to change this, man. We're going in the wrong direction with this gameplay, man. We shouldn't be losing to D-line users, ever. This mean was insta-shedding my life away. Go check out the Weekend League stream. Go ahead. The very last game I played. The very last game. Watch this Aaron Donald destroy my life away. I couldn't do anything. I miss this Madden. Come back to me. Please. Come back.